Hey everyone, we're so glad you're here as we jump into the second week of our series called You Can. Today we're going to keep talking about what it looks like to develop resilience, which we've defined as the willingness to get back up and grow stronger from challenges and setbacks. In other words, we're going to talk about how we can develop the kind of resilience that helps us try again, especially when it feels easier to give up. So I'm guessing at some point, all of us have had a moment where we thought we'd be like really good at something, so we tried it. But actually, doing that thing was really difficult. Eventually, trying got so frustrating that we just wanted to give up. You know, this happened to me. Growing up, I took piano lessons. I don't know if you've been there, like maybe you take flute or trumpet or whatever, but I took piano lessons. I started when I was in second grade, and by the time I got to, fifth, sixth grade, like man, I was getting the hang of it, man. I could like rip those scales, I could play the pieces, and so I was like, you know what? I've heard this Mendelssohn piece, and I know you don't know who Mendelssohn is. It's fine, don't worry about it. He's amazing. Anyway, so I got the sheet music and I took it to my teacher and I said, I want to play this piece. And she's like, I don't know. I like maybe someday, but maybe not today. And I'm like, no, I'm good. I can play Mendelssohn. She's like, all right, see what you can do. I don't know what it was. My fingers could not do the thing. Like I listened to the piece, I was looking at the sheet music, but I just did not have the skill to do what it was asking me to do. And it was so frustrating. And you know what? Honestly, I just wanted to give up playing the piano at all. Like it felt like I was never, ever gonna be able to play this piece. Of course, I was in sixth grade. I'd only been playing for 4 years. Mendelssohn is like amazing. Eventually I could play it, but it took 6 years. I was a senior in high school. Thankfully, I didn't give up, but sure, I really wanted to give up in that moment. We've all been there, right? We all know what it feels like to want to give up on something simply because it's too difficult, too frustrating, or too scary to actually do. I think it's pretty safe to assume we all need a little help with this one. Because like we said, we all know what it feels like to want to give up. And this is definitely true when it comes to trying something new. Whether it's learning a new skill, trying out for a new team, signing up for a new club, or learning that new viral dance, you know what it feels like to give your best effort and get frustrated when the results aren't what you wanted. But, this is also true of other areas of our lives. Think about it. Have you ever tried to make a new friend and gave up when they didn't seem interested? Have you worked and worked and worked at bringing up your science grade and decided to, just stop making the effort when you kept failing the tests? Have you wanted to spend less time playing video games, but gave up on that goal because you just had to get to the next level? Or have you struggled to make wise choices when it comes to hanging out with your crush, but somehow you couldn't figure out how to stop making the same mistakes? You know what? If we're honest, I think we'd probably admit the same truth even applies to our faith. Like we want to follow Jesus with our lives, but we're afraid we won't be able to do it well. Or maybe we are following Jesus, but we're struggling to do things that keep us connected to our faith and to Him. Maybe we keep making the same mistakes over and over again, so much so that we wonder if we should just give up on this faith thing altogether. Or, maybe we just feel like our faith isn't changing things for us the way we hope. And because of that, we're wondering if we can keep going in our faith. But here's the thing. Very few things in life are easy. In fact, most things in our lives worth doing will more than likely come with some challenges, setbacks, or struggles. Like that's just part of what it means to be a human. We're gonna mess up. We're gonna make mistakes, and we're gonna get frustrated when things don't go our way. So the question is this: is giving up the only option, or is there a way to get back up and give it another shot? When we're not sure what to do, the Bible is actually one of the best first places you can turn for help and guidance. And it's not because I think it's some magical book that can solve all my problems. No, it's because the Bible is one of the best ways we can learn about God, connect with God, and get wisdom for God's best for our lives. So today, why don't we give that a try together? Does this sound good? Okay, cool. Today, we're gonna go to the book of Proverbs. Now, Proverbs is a book filled with wisdom, mostly written by one of the wisest people who ever lived named King Solomon. You may have heard of him. Now, God gave Solomon some incredible wisdom that can help us make the best choices with our lives. In fact, there's actually a verse in Proverbs that can encourage us to get back up and keep going when things are difficult or we feel like we're failing. Solomon wrote this: The godly may trip 7 times, but they will get up again. But one disaster is enough to overthrow the wicked. All right, so here the writer, he's comparing 2 kinds of people, the godly and the wicked. Now, if you're like me, you're probably a little thrown by the word wicked, like that feels really intense. But let me assure you, in this verse, that word doesn't mean bad or evil like we might think. In Proverbs, Solomon actually used wicked to refer to someone who isn't wise, someone who's opposite of the person described in the first part of the verse. So, based on what the writer of Proverbs said, let's think about what those 2 kinds of people do. I will use this tennis ball to represent the godly person, and this softball as the wicked or unwise person we just read about. It's pretty clear what these 2 types of people have in common. Both are going to face setbacks and challenges. They're both going to deal with disasters that threaten to totally trip them up. That's true for any of us. But the difference is in how they respond. The godly or wise person will get up and try again when they face a challenge. They may hit rock bottom, but they have resilience to bounce back. But the wicked or unwise person will get taken down for good by difficult circumstances or failure. When they experience something challenging, they don't bounce back easily. Now, these type of people, they have a hard time coming back up. All right, so that's it. You just believe in God and you never have to struggle to get back up again, right? You just bounce back. Oh man, if only it were that easy. But the reality is, yes, we will face setbacks and challenges. We'll all find ourselves knocked down and struggle to get back up. But the difference is that when we're following God, we don't have to try to get back up on our own. We don't have to try again without help. Why? Because of Jesus. Remember, Jesus was both fully God and fully man. That means that during his time on earth, he lived as a human, just like us. He experienced his own set of struggles, setbacks, and difficulties that threatened to keep him down for the count. And towards the end of his life, he was arrested, treated horribly, judged, and nailed to a cross and left to die. I mean, talk about getting knocked down. But then, in the ultimate act of resilience, Jesus came back to life 3 days later. He rose from the dead, proving once and for all that he had the power over sin, death, and any other setback that might try to take us out. And when we look to him in the midst of our own struggles and challenges, we can be confident he'll help us do the same. Paul, a follower of Jesus who helped start the early Christian church thousands of years ago, encouraged us with this truth: "For I can do everything through Christ who gives me strength." This isn't just some verse you write on your sneakers. No, listen to this. Like Paul said, Jesus gives us strength to keep going. He gives us the help we need to get back up when we're knocked down by life. He gives us the ability to try again and again and again. In other words, because of Jesus, you can try again. Because of Jesus, no setback has to stop you. No challenge can keep you down. No frustration can hold you back. Not because your life will magically get easier or difficulties will never come, but because Jesus is with us in everything and anything we face. He's there to give us wisdom, love, and strength to try again. You hear that? Because of Jesus, you can try again. So what does this look like to actually try again? Let's take it step by step. First, name your setback. Think about where you feel stuck or frustrated. What difficulty or challenge feels like it's knocking you down? Maybe it's something that feels impossible, like playing the piano, or a goal you can't reach, or a mistake you keep making. Whatever it is, be real about what's in your way. Sometimes just acknowledging it as a setback can be a huge step in the right direction. Second, name why it matters. Why should you even care about trying again? Why is it important to you to try again? This might sound simple, but trust me, it's a huge deal, because giving up is going to feel easier at times. And when it does, it's important to know why we're still trying, why it's worth getting back up again. So think about why trying again while facing a particular setback matters to you. Write it down, and write down not just for today, but for the future as well. Now, third, name your strengths. Remember, Paul said we can do this because of the strength Jesus gives us. So it's important to acknowledge what that strength looks like in our lives. Maybe you find it in the support of a trusted adult or small group leader who encourages you. Maybe it's in your small group members who can share in your struggles and help you get back up. Maybe it's in a verse that speaks to your situation, or a worship song you can listen to on repeat, or time in prayer that helps you connect with God, whatever it is for you. Identify what helps you stay strong and build resilience. Finally, name your next step. What is one even small thing you can do today to help you move toward trying again? If it's a goal, commit to working toward it for like 10 more minutes. If it's a friendship, reach out with a kind text. If it's about making wise choices, ask someone you trust for advice. Whatever it is, lean into the strength you have and take one step toward getting back up and trying again. And one step at a time, you'll find yourself trying again. Remember, because of Jesus, you can try again. I know this isn't easy, but I also know it's possible. It's possible to be more resilient and find the strength to try again, no matter how difficult, challenging, or frustrating the situation might be. All it takes is the strength you find in Jesus to start. So, when you head to small groups, think about this question. What's one area of your life you need Jesus' help to try again?